All right, what's going on YouTube? I realized that I said in like one of my previous videos that I was going to be doing a review every day this week, and I have not done that. So I've been slacking, but I've been busy. I work a full-time job, yada yada yada, so does everybody else. I've realized that I wanted to do all this new Target exclusive stuff on the channel here, but um, and we put out 2 videos, so, or maybe 3, but we're just gonna do one video and lump it all up, the rest of the wave. So we're gonna do the Ultimate Dusty Rhodes, we're gonna do Bret the Hitman Hart, and we're gonna do Rick Rude. So let's go ahead and start with one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. You can never get enough Hitman in your life. So front of the packaging is this, of course, awesome new WWE Legends packaging, Series 25 from the Elite Collection. On the side, of course, you got a portrait of Bret, and I want to say, oh, lovely, look at that. Target, when you order online, they love to ship with the little sticker plastered on there. So I'm going to read you the bio that they give on here. So titles: WWE Champion, Intercontinental Champion, World Tag Team Champion. At WrestleMania IX, Bret the Hitman Hart, by the way, I think that's 9, I'm pretty sure, stepped in between the ropes for the main event to prove to Yokozuna why they call him the excellence of execution. The 600-pound challenger was larger than anyone the Hitman had defended his WWE Championship against. He wanted to prove to the world that he's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. So you can never have enough Bret, and in fact, they just announced a new Bret. Well, from the Monday Night Wars line, they announced a new. I want to edit that out, but that was hilarious, so I'm gonna keep that. Backdrop just fell over. I need to get a better setup back here. I thought I had something perfect, but it's more perfect for like shorts and stuff like that. I need a better backdrop, so I will be investing in that. Anyway. Oh, one thing I do like about the top of the packaging is it's got a little window with the WWE logo. But like I was saying, they announced a new Bret Hitman Hart from his WCW run. Weirdly enough, you know, they just can't really seem to get the face right half the time. I don't want to be the critique guy, but and I'm not really a complainer as far as that goes, but that one really just, I don't know. And it also doesn't come with the WCW title, which I thought was weird. So, trying to get this little backdrop out. I always find these things to be pretty cool, honestly, the little backdrops. I just can't figure out how to set them up. I've also never really bothered too much, but those are cool. Here's Bret. Comes with 2 extra sets of hands, as well as the Winged Eagle Championship. So that is 2 figures in this particular line or wave that have the Winged Eagle Championship. Kevin Owens is jealous right now. All right, so here we've got the Hitman, Bret the Hitman Hart, in super pink gear. I think this is his WrestleMania 9 gear, I believe. I'm super terrible with Roman numerals and everything, but I'd like to say this is a pretty good likeness of Bret. Honestly, I'm not going to complain too much about that face sculpt. I think this is probably one of the better ones that they've had in a minute. But, really digging that gear. The shades are pretty perfect if I can get them back on. Minus mine has a little bit of a paint discrepancy right there. I don't know if you could tell. I don't know if you could tell about the paint discrepancy, but pink all the way around on the singlet and knee pads. It's got the Hitman logo on the back there, as well as going down the tights. Black elbow pads, pink wrist tape. It's a perfect attire, and I'm not going to mess around with it too much. You know, you've seen Elite Articulation a million times, so you got to get some heat on these legs. They're not, I mean, they're super stiff, but then once again, they're just going to sit on my shelf. So, elite articulation, pretty standard. I don't really get to show off that, but I am going to keep the championship title there on his shoulder. It comes with a nice little rubber band piece that they attach there, you know, so then the title kind of fits and sits perfectly up there. And you can kind of have Bret in his championship pose. I have a ton of Brets doing the, of course, the Hitman pose. You know, of course, that's why you get these extra hands, the open hands. But I'm going to keep him in this championship pose because I have a million Brets like that. So, very cool Bret to add to my little tiny Bret Hitman Hart shelf. One thing I will add is a lot of people, like in the Major Pod group or other toy groups and on X and everything like that, Instagram, they're all talking about how that Hitman logo is off-centered. I gotta add, if you don't know, he did that on purpose for many, many years. So this is pretty spot on for a Bret figure. So it looks great. Another great Bret to add to my collection. Now let's move on to the Ravishing Rick Rude action figures. So Rick Rude is actually from my area. I know people who are related to the guy, so this is a great figure to honor his legacy, especially in his WCW run. Comes with a big gold belt, which looks way better than any big gold belt that's come before him, minus maybe the Ultimate Taker. And if you could tell, yes, I did get the Chase variant of this figure. I'm not really sure if I'm going to grab the other one, but we'll see. I kind of just ordered the one and I was okay with it. Okay, so the sticker is kind of covering up some of this, so I'm going to try to go ahead and read it while it's over without having to waste time and rip this off for no reason. Titles: WCW International World Heavyweight Champion, Intercontinental Champion, WCW United States Champion. Of course, based on the attire. I would kind of wish that they put the WCW US title on him in this, but that's alright. I might just swap out the 2-pack Bret that has the United States title, put it on him, put the big gold on Bret. Doesn't really match the lineage or the whatever, but okay. Ravishing Rick Rude was one of the most impactful superstars in WCW during the 90s, first aligning himself with the Dangerous Alliance. Rick Rude battled legends like Sting and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at Fall Brawl 1993, I almost said 2003. The Ravishing One defeated Ric Flair and became the World Heavyweight Champion for the very first time in his career. So, go ahead and get him off the packaging and take a look at the figure. Of course, the inside of the box, once again, comes with this really cool backdrop piece that you can kind of display if you want. I'm going to tuck these away for now. Also, just want to point out that he does come with 2 extra sets of hands if you want to swap them out. And holy shit, the amount of extra hands and heads and accessories and stuff I have is astronomical at this point. Alright, so here is the Ravishing One, Rick Rude, the Ravishing Rick Rude out of the packaging. Of course, donning his WCW United States Championship, or Champion era tights. If you know anything about Rick Rude, he kind of always had custom tights like this made, you know, during like various, says Champ down the side there. He always had custom attire like this made for, you know, like programs, TV programs he had with different wrestlers and whatnot. So it's very cool. And then you got USA down the side there. On the back of the tights, he's got an eagle, how fitting, and a picture of him, as well as his name down the leg down there. And of course, this big gold title is fantastic looking. We're going to take that off for just a moment. Face sculpt is spot on. Definitely fitting for the era. These Mattel head scans are just superb these days. All the way down to the mustache. He's got the short hair. I really wish I had the Mattel Creations pack, but I can't seem to snag them up when they're in stock on the website, as well as many other of the Mattel Creations 2-packs. The only one I actually even have is the Hart Foundation, but this is a really good Rick Rude. I wanted to grab one for his WCW era, of course, and I think this is very fitting. I know he comes with the big gold belt, but like I said, I think I'm going to swap him out with the U.S. title and put the big gold on Bret. So, I gotta admit, I wasn't a big WCW guy, but I wanted to represent the era of Rick Rude just because they haven't made many Rick Rude figures as of recent. I think I only have the original Legends one that came out probably about 5 years ago, but great figure. Got the World Heavyweight Championship, of course, and they're just knocking it out of the park as far as titles, head scans, and everything lately. Let's actually see how this United States title looks on Rude. Alright, I got him in his signature pose, of course, and yes, this is 100% more fitting for that era with the US title. I think it looks just great. You know, if Mattel would have spent an extra couple bucks to just include even the same belt, you don't even need to retool it, just make it again, and it added it in here, it would have made the chase a lot more special, I think. But if you had this 2-pack that came with Bret and Goldberg, you could just swap it out like this. But excellent figure for sure. And just for note, here is what I did to swap. This is the figure that I swapped it out with. That actually looks really cool. So we are going to move on with the ultimate of the wave, the new Target wave of action figures. We've got the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, one of the great legends of professional wrestling. And you can see he comes with a ton of accessories, and you can definitely find him at Target. I've seen him on this shelf a couple times this week. Of course, the Ultimates go all out as far as the accessories and everything, and it's got a really cool photo of him on the back. Little attributes about him: 6'2", from Austin, Texas. Finisher was the Bionic Elbow. Career highlights: World Heavyweight Champion. So let's go ahead and get Dusty out of the packaging so we can set him up next to his son on the shelf. Just going to first show off all of the accessories in case I forget something. He's got 4 sets of hands, including the one that's on his actual figure on the body, packaged in there. The headband, the police hat, of course the polka dot shirt, the nightstick, and 2 head sculpts along with the one packaged in there. And we are not reinventing the wheel here at all in the channel. I mean, you've probably seen 100 reviews, but I'm so glad that you checked out mine of this figure. So it seems like the body, it definitely fits his stature, his height, his weight, everything like that. Of course, this figure embodies the probably arguably the most famous time of Dusty's career. Of course, he had many different eras, different attires and everything, but everybody remembers the polka dots. So this head sculpt is pretty unique. Kind of looks like a pre-match, you know, face scan there. It's got, of course, that ultimate articulation. The shoulders kind of come out like that. Torso articulation. And of course, you got to have that birthmark that he had famously. Everything moves, guys. Got the drop down hips. Seems like need to put some heat on the joints there a little bit. They don't want to move too much. But figure's got everything. Not really limited in the way of articulation, just the hips a little bit. So I need to heat those up a little bit. But it's a really great figure, all the way down to the right elbow pad, along with the wrist tape, the yellow and black, the polka dot and black trunks, black knee pads with the polka dots on them as well, down to the cowboy boots, white and yellow, or white and gold, however you want to look at it. Very cool figure. Now let's swap out a couple heads and see what we're dealing with. And here we are with the seems like mid-match posed face. Of course, I got him in a sort of a bionic elbow pose. I forgot to mention that his elbow pad also has polka dots on him. A little bit of a paint discrepancy, but not a biggie. This one looks really cool. I really don't know how I want to pose him or put him up on my shelf, but I think I have an idea, and it's going to be with all of his entrance gear with the next head sculpt. And if you don't know anything about these Ultimate figures, you would know, well, that his arms come off on these, because how else are you going to get this polka dot shirt on? These Ultimate figures include so many different unique heads, hands, ring attires, everything like that. You kind of pose him with the headband, the polka dot headband, or you could pose him with the officer hat and the nightstick. So what an awesome figure to close out this Target line of action figures. Target exclusive line of WWE figures. Really pleased with this. I've been needing a Dusty in my collection for a very long time. So if you're on the fence about it, definitely go check it out at your local Target. Anyway, this has been a long video. I appreciate you checking out, and I hope you see you next time. Please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. See you all in the next video. Peace out.